So while my mom's in the mental hospital, I won't be, telling you anything going on with her. I did it here. I had every right to do it here because I matter too and I'm going through hell, right? Negatively impacted every day for nearly 2 months by my mom's progressively worse mental condition or deterioration. I have my door locked, even though I'm the only one here. But I haven't been wearing earplugs even before my mom got sectioned. The reason I haven't been wearing earplugs and was sleeping on the couch and whatnot. Well, I slept on the couch. Some stuff all over my bed, but also, I don't know, because I fell asleep watching TV. Anyhow, I need to listen for Omar's cries. He's been doing all right, as well as to be expected. Neighbors who genuinely cared. Remember, I know the difference. People ask about my mom, so, I told them what happened. Because again, I have a right for people I know to know what I went through, okay? This world doesn't just revolve around my mother. I have the right for people to know what I went through with her. But I won't be talking about her anymore in terms of anything that happens if I visit her, when I go there. Not unless, something horrible happens to her or something. I won't be talking about that. I went to a different store. I told you I'm never stepping foot in that other store again. Not surprisingly, didn't hear from them. But my letter probably went in the garbage. I don't fucking care. I know I was targeted, and I know I didn't do anything wrong. Doing something wrong would be you're intentionally, fucking with signs or making things ring up wrong somehow, Not that fate has it that stuff rings up wrong. It's not right how I was treated. I was targeted, okay? I was targeted not because you really think that asshole, that motherfucking prick gives a fuck really about that I get a free item once in a while under his store's policy that is actually all the major stores policies that sell food. It's only food. It's only food, and it's to protect the customer. Okay? It's only food. It's only for stores that opt into it. Okay? No, he cares that I'm annoying, that's all. He cares, like I said, they're pissed off that I take the time to, when I'm annoyed, when I have to take a long time trying to find something I want to buy, and every fucking item is expired, and I have to take a long time sitting there going through, looking at the date of each one. How many Breakstone cottage cheeses, when there's so many flavors, do you think are on the shelf? And I have to look through every one of them so I can buy the ones I want to buy? Damn straight I'm going to bring up 10, 15, 20 to the service desk and not care if I'm fucking annoying. They're lucky I didn't report any of that to the big manager. Because remember, it wasn't the big manager. The big manager would never treat a customer that way. The big manager knows better. That it's not worth a few dollars to alienate a good customer, okay? I'm not some bum off the street. A big manager wouldn't even question it. This prick is annoying. He's just an asshole, that's all. He's a fucking asshole. But then again, it wasn't a big manager, the big manager either. The big store manager, okay, who essentially made excuses for the prick. I know the prick doesn't give a fuck. He just wanted to make me feel like shit, that's all. Like Joe says, it's not your store, it's not coming out of your pocket, you don't own the store. And the big people know you don't alienate a customer over bullshit. And another one was just as bad, that motherfucker. Oh, you don't do that either. If a customer's complaining about anything, right? Being made to be treated like shit. I didn't complain over the fucking $4 of lemons. It's not my fault they went bad. They go bad all the time, right? They arrive bad when I have them delivered. No, it's you don't make excuses. If a customer's upset about anything, you never ever say, "Oh, the person who treated you like shit, he's probably he or she's probably just having a bad day." You don't say that as a manager, okay? You do not say that, period. I do not care. You do not say that. I know the head honcho. If the head honcho had been on, head honcho would have never said anything like that. Because again, my God, years ago at this fucking same grocery store, they would tell me if I had something bad, all right, something had gone bad like meat or whatever, and again, that they didn't have. I've been going to the store forever. They didn't have that stupid double money back guarantee for parrot. They came up with that later in life or whatever, or whatever. But it doesn't matter. If I had something bad I was returning, meat or produce or whatever, produce that had gone bad too quickly, or one time I brought home a cottage cheese, a regular one that wasn't, it hadn't reached the date yet. And I brought it home, and it had gone bad for whatever reason, and it was bad in the store. And then I asked them, I said, from now on, after I buy it, I'm gonna. Oh no, I know what happened. That inner seal of it, the inner seal was open. So you have the cover, and then the inner seal was open. It was ripped. It was whatever. And I said, from now on, when I'm gonna, before I even leave the store, I'm gonna check and make sure. And they're like, you can open that and make sure that it's not broken even before you buy it. They told me that, Anyway, but there was bad. I've had periodically bad meat or whatever, or bad produce that just went bad too quickly. Obviously, I didn't buy it bad, but it went bad immediately. It was ridiculous, right? And they said, especially about the bad meat, you don't Just bring your receipt, because I would call always. I'd call immediately when I realized. I'd call and talk to a manager, so I'd have the manager's name written down. And so whoever I was dealing with, no, I already talked about this. I'm not just showing, I already talked about this. But anyway, I had employee before, wasn't even, like, say, don't even bother bringing in the bad product. Just bring your receipt. Talk about benefit of the doubt. Just bring your receipt. I.e., we believe you. Just bring your receipt. We'll give you your money back. You don't have to bother bringing in the bad product. And I would bring the bad product anyway, so they would not think that I was making it up, even though I knew I wasn't. Just like I know dealing with this motherfucker a couple weeks ago, the same thing. I didn't do anything wrong. I wasn't doing anything wrong. And when I've periodically got a free item because it rings up wrong, I wasn't doing anything wrong then either. Okay? He's a motherfucking asshole, period. Period. And it wouldn't have escalated in my mind like it did if the bigger manager, that he wasn't even, like I said, that one was a glorified supervisor. The bigger manager who claims he wrote the guy up, I don't even believe it. I think he just said it, but whatever. Shouldn't have made excuses for him. I'm telling you, he made me feel like shit. It's not over the fucking $4, which is why I later, unfortunately dug my own, I messed my own thing up by saying he can take the $4 of lemons and shove them up his ass. But I wouldn't have said that to that manager if I'm calling just for the last names. Just give me the last names. Don't question me. Give me your last name and his last name. What's this all about? And then I told him, I said, you made excuses for him. I didn't make, you know what I mean? Still arguing with me. I didn't make excuses for him. I took him upstairs and gave him, I don't fucking care whether or not you gave him a warning or not. There's no way I would know that based on your attitude. I just want to go higher up and file a formal complaint. And I want your last names. And then, unfortunately, when he said, this is not the first incident you've had with him, that's when, I lost it in my head. I'm going through this shit with my mom. Okay? I'm not doing anything wrong. I don't fucking care who thinks to the contrary. They're ignorant. Who watches my videos and thinks to the contrary. They're fucking ignorant. I'm not doing anything wrong. And you weren't so fucking ignorant. You would realize that if it's a store policy, then that's it. At your discretion doesn't mean you've decided somebody has done that too many times in their life or something. It's if they're taking advantage, like changing things or doing something, unscrupulous. People could change a sign and change or whatever, and then make something ring up wrong. People could do stuff like that. Not that it just happens by chance. And again, I'm not doing it too many times. I'm not even in there. I don't drive. I don't go to the store that often, especially in the winter. I mostly just fucking stay home. It's just all my bad luck that I got him, that he was the same one who I had talked to on the phone instead of somebody different, and that a week prior I had gotten a stupid free drink and it had been him that had to go and check, and that makes them have extra work. They have to go and check, and then they just don't like me anyway. Like I said, not over that. And I'd never, ever in years gotten anything under the double money back guarantee. I never got my money back under that for years at this store. So he's just a motherfucking asshole targeting me. And then the manager is supposed to be, the customer's always right, and you don't, when I'm just calling to get your last names, give me the last names. Don't say, what's this all about? And then, and then do your little, this is not the first incident you've had with him. He's a motherfucking asshole too. And he's a higher up manager. The bigwigs who own the fucking stores want their employees, their managers, whatever, to follow the customer's always right, unless you are a bum, unless you're like coming off the street and you're known to be doing whatever, all right? Which I'm most definitely not. The day before this had happened, I had done a 200 fucking online delivery order. The day before, I made it treated like fucking shit over $4 fucking that motherfucking asshole, both of them, can take and shove up their ignorant, arrogant asses. They ganged up on me, and I'm a woman. All right? Unfortunately for me, I could no longer, completely take the high ground or whatever when I said he could take it and shove it up his ass, and then he could turn around and say, you're threatening my employee, my associate. He's not a fucking, it's not a threat, but whatever. I regrettably did that. I'll never step in your fucking store again. Fuck you all. Just add to my anxiety, and now I was at a totally different store, and because I don't want to deal with this shit with anybody ever again, I checked all my items to make sure they weren't going to ring up wrong. And if they were going to ring up wrong, I would just put them back on the shelf. Because I don't like when they ring up wrong. I hate it. I never know if somebody's going to treat me like shit over it. And I'm not going to just be a good little fucking girl, good little fucking little obedient girl, and pay the price that's not that I didn't believe I was going to pay when I saw the item on the shelf. So I went through extra time, and I was just, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to deal with it. When that happens, my heart sinks. It's not, oh, I'm going to get a free item. My heart sinks because I refuse to pay. I refuse to do that. It has to do with, I'm not going to be this obedient little girl. Plus, if, when I don't say something and nobody says, then it's just, people will be overcharged forever. I'm not going to do it. I never think, oh, I get a free item. I don't like it. I hate it. You have to put yourself, a spotlight on yourself. You have to be like, this rang up wrong. I just wish that policy was not anywhere. I wish if something ring up wrong, you just get it for the price it's on the shelf, period, because that's the friggin' law. I wish that damn policy was not in place. Again, I never even knew until years and years ago a manager in a totally different store here in Massachusetts told me about it. And then I noticed it signs up on other stores, which shows that the big bosses want their employees to follow it. You can't point out your discretion clause because you don't like the person, But again, it was apples and oranges anyway, because he said to me, you do this all the time. He wasn't referring to the dumb money back guarantee because I hadn't done that in years. I hadn't benefited from that through no fault of my own in years. Years. Back when this guy wasn't even working there. Not to my recollection anyway. But of course, the regular manager who I've never dealt with, never got a free item through him, never, whatever, he's going to just, when his associate, his buddy, whatever, says, blah, 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 she does it, blah, 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 he's just going to believe him automatically. Again, it's slander. It's slander of me. That's why he didn't say to me over the phone, I've dealt with you, but no, he's just going by what he said. This is not the first incident you've had with him. You're just saying that because he said it to you. Because he's just going to make up shit and could say whatever he wants and you're going to believe him. He said, she said. So I just won't go in the store anymore. But I did go to a completely different store, and I did just a small thing. It's only what I could carry, and I small amount. As for this store, not going there anymore, I have to look at it. It's probably a blessing in disguise because I'd be tempted to buy stuff and I'd say, oh, that's not going to be too heavy. And I can't really tell ahead of time how it's going to be or how my body's going to react. I'm getting too old to be carrying heavy groceries or even semi-heavy groceries home. So probably a blessing in disguise because even since I said I was never going to do it again, I wound up pushing it a little bit, right? Shouldn't do it at all. And then yesterday from a different store, I just bought crap to eat. Crap non-dairy ice cream that's not ice cream, and it's definitely not super saturated fat. It's not like low fat or anything, and it didn't even taste that good. It just made me not feel well, that's all. So that's what's going on. Obviously, I will not be talking about anything happening with my mom in the mental hospital, okay? That's a different situation. It's not me dealing with it firsthand here, not knowing what to do, etc., etc., okay? Oh, and you want a summary of my life? What sums up my life? I made my blonde hair. I took a long time drying it, and I made it, all shiny and beautiful, and, and it was sunny when I was drying my hair and creating that video where I could talk loud, because nobody's here but me. And, by the time I left, I wound up my hair getting rained on. Not torrential downpours, but, doesn't take much, so it ruined it's just, that sums up my life. I spent all that time drying my hair for a long time, my long hair, and then it gets all wet, it gets soaked, it gets, I mean, I just thought I'd point that out because it is what happened yesterday, and it's just, I don't even know if that's an example of irony, but it's not irony, it just sums up my existence. Take the time to blow dry my hair for all that time. It wasn't raining when I left. It started to. I'm usually running to try to catch bus on time or whatever, so I don't carry an umbrella. If I carry an umbrella, I have to walk slow to carry my bags and stuff in one hand. Or sometimes I have two bags, bringing clothes to my mom. Split up in shoes. I have to split up the heaviness. Anyhow, my hair got all wet. I just have to just be like, whatever. At this point, I have to laugh. Oh, and the former old church woman, she texted me and called, like, what's going on with your mom? The one who, weeks ago, your mom just probably has a UTI, just trying to wanting to believe that, even though I suspected that was not even remotely the truth. Trying to push my mom and not let me just take her down, and we'll just go to an urgent care and have her tested. It would have been fine. She just I know how she is. By now you guys know how she is, okay? And of course we want to believe it's just as simple as my mom's a UTI and it gets cleared up and everything's hunky-dory fine. That's not how life generally is. But before that happened, when she had a UTI, I know, but you're not living here with her. The chances of it being that this time around are not good. Sorry, church woman, they're not. Chances of that are not likely. We all wish that. So I told her what had happened the other day and with the imaginary boyfriend, and she was going to meet him at the airport, etc. She can fantasize all she wants. Can't act on it. Can't act on it. You can't put your life in danger over it. You can't, she can't act on it. Or the professionals in her life are going to get involved. I don't have any professionals in my life, so when I went mad a decade ago, over a decade ago actually, there was no one to, but you can't do it. My mom can't do it, okay? I have to say what's going on with her. I'm viewed as her caregiver, partial caregiver, live in, and I'm responsible for letting people know what's going on, including if she won't eat or take her meds. And okay, it's my responsibility. Doesn't matter if I'm not her guardian or whatever, like motherfucking ignorant assholes say, that I have no right to bullshit. I don't care if I have no legal right to hold back her debit card and her license when I know what she's planning on doing, which is, doesn't matter your intention, it's not legal. Yeah, you just don't like me and you're a motherfucking ignorant cunt or bastard, and I would do it again in a heartbeat, okay? I will protect my mother from herself, regardless of whether or not I have the legal right to do so. And everyone in her life agrees. Everyone in her life heaps praises on me, professional or otherwise. You're just ignorant. That's all. So I'm sure the churchwoman was surprised at that. But it's the truth. It was the truth. Even the other day when I said, Mom, I don't have a car. I can't go and just hop in my car and come and see you and bring you stuff that you want. And I'm sorry you're walking in stocking feet, but because you can't wear the boots with lacings. And then telling me your imaginary boyfriend will drive me there. So, it's reality. It's this fantasy that you might believe or keep to yourself or whatever. You can't fucking act on it, right? Cannot act on it. And if you do, you're going to pay the consequences, suffer the consequences of acting on it. That is reality. She'd already called the taxi company. She told me how much it was going to cost. She had every intention probably of taking every penny out and going and meeting him at the airport, taking the taxi that goes there. She had every intention. She'd repeatedly told me it. So